So I'm here with my buddy Brian Heathman, longtime friend and publisher. Does all my publishing now. Made for Success Publishing. I started the company mid-90s, something like that, and then sold it to Brian in 2009. And like I mentioned on the drive over here, he was doing, we were doing Costco business audio programs. He's transitioned it into still doing all the audio programs and stuff, and then doing book publishing. You're not you're a publisher, but you're not a self-publisher. You're like, would you consider yourself a hybrid publisher?
Yeah, so in the publishing business, there's three different types of business models. You've got the self-publishing route, you've got the traditional publishing route, and then you've got the hybrid route, and we're one of those hybrid publishers. So, in terms of the numbers, the book business here in the U.S. is about $27 billion a year. The big five publishers do the vast majority of that kind of revenue. You've got about 200 companies in the mid-tier space that do things like we do, both traditional publishing and kind of a self-publishing model. We're in that hybrid space. We're out there with national representation to bookstores and that kind of thing. And then you've got 86,000 companies in the U.S. that do self-publishing. So there's this sea of kind of like overwhelm for authors out there to get their books published, and part of our job is to navigate that and do it effectively. For
Every
authors.
single week I get people, hey, I want to write a book. I'm sure most of you have thought about writing a book. In fact, I always tell people, if you want to start a conversation with somebody, just say, have you ever thought about writing a book? Because about 80% of people say, actually I have. It doesn't even matter what their profession is.
Yeah. I think like 80% of people, oddly enough, have a book as one of the top 10 things on their bucket list.
Yeah. So if somebody watching this wants to write a book, and here's what I tell them: look, if you're a no-name and you haven't written a best-selling book or even a book before, publishers aren't interested. The traditional publishers are not interested. We'll read about some college student got a $500,000 advance. That is needle in the haystack kind of stuff. But they're like, well, this college student did it, I could do it. And then you've got the self-publishing, which is just you trying to figure out the whole thing, which is why I go with the hybrid publisher with Brian. So tell them how that would work if they wanted to write a book. You brought some stuff to show.
So here's some great examples.
Yeah.
So The Angel Inside is a book that Chris published
with Random House.
With Random House. So this is a traditionally published deal. This book went New York Times bestseller.
Number 2 on the Wall Street Journal, number 7 on the New York Times.
Yep.
Number 3 on Amazon all week.
Yeah, and just as a quick plug, I have no stake in this, but if you haven't read this book, check it out. It'll get you chills. Every time I tell the story about this book, it runs chills up and down my spine. So it's pretty cool. So that kind of overviews what it might look like for the traditional publishing world. But when Chris wrote this manuscript, he sold the rights to this manuscript to Random House.
Yeah, we had sold 120,000 copies self-published, and then we sold it to Random House.
So the copyright for this particular thing, which came out of his head, is now owned by guys in a skyscraper in Manhattan.
Right.
So he's got no control over this.
Right.
And so the way that Chris has done his last 2 books, this one is called The 7 Laws of Network Marketing. This one's like hot off the press. This one's been out for, I think, less than 6 months or so.
3-4 months.
And this one is kind of a workbook tool that's unique to one of the industries that Chris works in the network marketing business, which is used as a kind of a booklet or like a flyer for people to help understand the business model of network marketing. So he did these with us. He's got perfect control over them. He can buy inventory in massive scales, and the margins are very good.
Yeah. So here's the way it works. Let's say I want 500 copies of these. I can buy these from Brian at a negotiated price that we've negotiated out, and then I can resell them. Or Brian can put these on Amazon or sell them elsewhere, and then he pays me a royalty on it. I still own the copyright and all that, but it's a great thing. And by the way, I found out that we don't have the audio of this, I don't think, up somewhere. Somebody told me we don't have the audio, so I got to read this, or I think I actually did this as an audio first, but maybe we do, maybe we don't.
We'll send a note to Kathy. Dear Kathy.
Right.
Yeah, seriously.
But yeah, no,
Check
so
this out, yeah.
actually maybe it is up on Audible. Somebody asked me about it. I think I did find it on Audible, but we should check on that. So what actually
check right now.
what we actually one of the really cool things about in this day and age is the way we did this book. I'm really pretty sure we did this was I came into the studio, and we'll show you the studio now. Tom and I were actually in there and just going, man, can you imagine what you used to have to do for a studio, $100,000 worth of stuff, all that kind of stuff. Now, I went in, I recorded it, you upload the audio, start selling it on iTunes and Amazon and all those.
Yep.
Then we get this transcribed and then edited, and now we have a book version as well. So pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah, so, it's kind of funny. When Chris and I got started in the business back 2005, like you said, we were building these audio programs kind of like this, on physical CD. Do you remember what those are?
Yeah, it
those
was right after
discs
the
that you
cassette.
stick into your car. Yeah, okay, yeah.
8-track, no, record, 8 tracks, cassette CD.
And somehow we had some kind of mojo going on. We marched these down the street to Costco, which is just headquartered about 10 minutes from where we're sitting right now. They started buying these things in droves, and the business went pretty good. Then in 2008, we got into the whole digital audiobook space. We actually became one of Audible's top 10 publishers. And you're going to get a good laugh when you see where we operate, when we take a little walk around.
Actually, we built our entire Costco business sitting right here. Well, actually, right around the
we
corner.
Were sitting in the
but
backyard
basically, basically this: we were smoking cigars and calling speakers, going, "Hey, can we license your stuff?"
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty amazing story, and we got pretty big, pretty fast. We did a few things well, so that worked out great. And as of today, I mean, our business kind of hinges on the audiobook side. So we do a fair clip of audiobook business.
Yeah.
But we should show you around the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we do,
Yeah.
if somebody wanted to contact you to do a book, who should they?
Yeah, just go to madeforsuccesspublishing.com. Madeforsuccesspublishing.com, and all the details about how to get a hold of us are built therein.
And when you do,
Yep.
let them know that you saw this here,
Yeah.
and mention me, and you'll get a discount off of the price that other people pay. So,
All right, great.
Yeah.
Let's go take a walk.
let's go do it.
Yeah.
Which way are we gonna go? We gonna go to the
Well,
front
let's
door? Or
go through back here to
right.
the backyard.
Oh
where
yeah,
we,
we'll show you the pickleball court.
So when we first got started,
Oh yeah, we're going in the back door.
So when we first got started in the business, it was a beautiful summer day like this in Seattle. We don't get very many of these days too often.
7 actually.
7 days.
7
yeah.
days.
Chris and I set up on that table right over there, and we spent several weeks making phone calls to speakers to get their content wrapped up and licensed in terms of their keynote speeches. So this is kind of where Made for Success literally started,
Yeah,
right
in
here
the backyard.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
So now my office looks like a bomb went off, and we got somebody coming in doing setting up new filing systems. So we'll show you good, bad, and ugly.
Half the people that are watching, their offices look exactly the same way.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. That's where Brian keeps his chickens. You still have chickens?
Yeah, we call this place the ranch, right? And it's my home where I live, and this is where we do our business. But it's actually a working ranch because we have 2 chickens over here. We used to have about 12, and then coyotes got them. Yeah.
I always feel like when we're walking into a house, I feel like cribs. Come on in, check out my crib.
Yeah. Oh, and we have here one of our most esteemed employees. This is Valerie. She's currently working on. Actually, she's sending checks to authors right now for the royalties.
Of course, the one day I choose not to wear makeup is the day
that we vlog.
We have literally dozens of viewers.
We will have literally dozens of viewers.
Oh
Yes,
my
yes,
gosh,
exactly.
I'm going to be famous.
So these are the bookshelves of books that we've published in the past. This is kind of a quick catalog of the.
Oh, hey, look at this.
Yes.
Is this where you keep all the
warehouse?
the stuff?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is the warehouse. So like this one was one we were selling through Costco, Public Speaking Superstar, but I think it was called something else.
No, that was actually the name.
Oh,
it was
was it?
very successful. This one went through Costco. This is the original packaging.
Oh yeah, Purpose. We did
Yeah.
that one.
So this is kind of a play on.
Actually,
Purpose
this
for
was
the knife.
this
Yeah.
was the Barnes & Noble version. The Costco
Yeah.
versions, do you have one of the Costco versions still?
I was just going to see if I got one.
They
sitting
were
around,
they
yeah.
were about this big because in Costco you want to feel like you're hauling something out like this, or whatever. Oh,
Well, that's the video version.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
video
trying to see if
version.
we have,
but no. So I mean, you got tons
this
of.
gets into our archive, yeah.
Brian did the Born to Win, Zig Ziglar's last book, Born to Win, last audio book. That was yours, right?
Yep.
And then you got all sorts of stuff, assertiveness training. You do stuff on Alzheimer's for people that speak about Alzheimer's, goals, debt.
And then we got books as well. So we've got this
Yeah.
one. This is the latest novel. This book actually is pretty good. It's called The Curtain, and it's a 3-part novel. This one, brand new book that just released, Pattern for Excellence on Customer Service Skills. We've got,
Oh, here was one we did in Costco
back in the day, yeah.
back in the day. Small business success. We
Oh
did
yeah,
that.
that one did pretty well.
Small business success. Yeah.
So yeah, that's a quick look in the warehouse. Come on out here, and we'll walk around. When Chris and I are not working on this kind of stuff, we like to get out on motorcycles.
I sold my
take a
motorcycle
ride.
though.
I know,
I
it's
sold
a
it
total
right
shame.
before I moved to Scottsdale.
Yeah. Well, let's take a walk around the ranch.
All
We can
right,
just
yeah.
kind of reminisce.
Brian throws these big like Memorial Day and Labor Day and all that kind of stuff, and everybody plays volleyball out here in the front. And
We're going to be throwing a 4th of July party.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I haven't gotten my invite yet. It's really
I know,
weird. It
I
must
know.
have been locked up.
It got
somewhere.
lost in the mail.
Yeah, pretty much probably. Yeah.
So this is it. This is kind of this is it. So the funny thing about the publishing business these days, just like many businesses for authors and whatnot, is that it doesn't take a skyscraper in Manhattan to become one of the top publishers in the world, which is ironic.
Yeah.
Not to say that Made for Success Publishing is a top publishing in the world, but we do a fair clip of business here. We've got it kind of set up in a 4-hour work week, Tim Ferriss kind of manner.
Yeah.
And it's extremely effective. So,
All right. Cool. Thanks, man.
yeah, all right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that'll be some good clips out of there.